welcome to Raleigh Real Talk. I am very excited. I'm going to try to harness my enthusiasm for good tonight. I have invited these lovely people here, sitting here, because I'm very intrigued by what they're doing, and I want to have a real conversation. Something I think is maybe extinct at this moment, but it's not gone forever. I think we're all going to be okay if we do the right things. I'm not going to go into detail about that because you know what they are, but I'm just curious personally, and I want to have a good conversation about what we're passionate about. I'm kind of tired of stalking their profiles personally, honestly. You guys are lovely, your family and friends are lovely. I just want to have a real conversation. So I'm just going to run right into it. I'm Victoria Niemeyer. I am a stay-at-home mom and formerly have been a college athlete and swim coach and things that are still a part of who I am, but I've kind of not been engaging with them essentially at the moment. I used to be a swim coach, and that was something I was really identifying with, and now that I don't have it, I sort of filled that void with comedy because those were my comedy fans, if you will. And now I'm using it on my kids and on my friends, and now I'm taking it to the stage. And I've just learned a lot about the community and the world through comedy. So I'm excited to pull in people that I've found in this community who I'm just excited to have conversations with. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Let's start with Freddy.
All right. Hi, my name is Freddy Valoy, and a long-time life goal of mine was to be on either Global Guts or Legends of the Hidden Temple. And that never happened for me, so it left a deep hole in my soul. And then I found comedy. So now I do comedy. So that's what I do. I also have a podcast called Fred Talk. Another place where there's real conversations as well. World local news, and I have a dating show. So if you're single, you can come on my dating show. It's a live dating show on YouTube. I interview you for 20 minutes, and if people like you, they get to slide in your DMs. I mean, come on. How much easier could it get, all right?
What's up? I'm Jacob Rice. Welder by day. I try to tell jokes at night. I'm working on producing a lot of shows here in the Triangle and having fun with it. I've got a podcast with Trevor Hayes called Amateur Hour Radio that we actually do out of the boxing gym. We got a lot of fighters on it. We're going to have different community leaders and people involved in that kind of activity coming up soon. And I don't know. Keep it pretty simple. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. Bobo.
Hey, I'm Bobo DeLicious. That actually, I've been doing comedy for, I think, since November of 2018. I'm still fresh in the game. Started out as a hobby, but I'm just really enjoying it, and I'm just having such a fun time meeting new people. Just have fun. Have a great time doing comedy and just learn a lot. I think my world has been really opened up with just fresh new perspective, as well as, a fresh batch of really interested and funny people. And I don't think we can never have enough of funny people in our lives. So I think I'm gonna suck around this thing for a little while and see how it goes.
That's awesome.
Oh, you crushed that.
That's
Good
awesome.
for you. That was great.
Yeah. We all have such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind sharing where you're from a little bit, how you grew up in a way? I'm just curious.
Yeah, Bobo, take it away.
How you built your bones, sort of thing.
Okay, so I was born overseas, and I think I came to America when I was 16. And just due to the fact that most of my mom's family, my dad's family, already here. So we was just like, okay, we were traveling around the world for a little bit when I was young. So we just live here and there, and just live it here, live it there. So after a while, it was like, okay, we just gotta settle for good old America. So let's go. So I came up here to Raleigh RDU Airport with 2 suitcases when I was 16, and I've been here ever since.
That's awesome.
Yes, I haven't moved. Well, before the pandemic, I was thinking of moving, but now I'm kind of stuck. So I guess I'm just gonna have to stay here.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, I ended up in Raleigh because I came to school here, and I used to curse the Beltline. We used to have swim meets at NC State, and I was like, I'm never going anywhere. There's a Beltline, and you can't even get out of the town. And then I got a scholarship to swim. I did not even know what a scholarship to swim was when I got it, and just kind of ended up. Oh, sorry, we're not dad's from Netherlands, and my mom's from Colorado, and they met when my mom was my dad's waitress, and somehow my mom convinced them to come to America and live in Elon. So I grew up in Elon, which is actually a town. Don't make me fight about it. Everyone always tells me it's not a town. And I'm like, well, it used to be called Elon College, but then the college changed their name to a university, so the town had to drop college so it wouldn't confuse people. But it's also not like the Ivy League town that you think it is. So anyway, so I grew up in Elon, came to state to swim, and I just feel like I haven't had a reason to leave. Like, I would love to have a reason to leave, but it's filling up so well here. I feel like I've watched Raleigh grow up. And I don't know, I'm just like pumped that I'm here. I feel grateful that I'm in Raleigh at this time. But what about you, Jacob? Where are you from?
Nice. I was born here.
Really? You're a Raleigh kid?
Nah, not Raleigh, Vincent. So
cool.
Country. Like I lived on a big tobacco farm out there, and until I was 11. And my mom actually died when I was young. So my dad's from upstate New York, and we moved there. Wow. And it was kind of like having split custody kind of thing. I'd live there with him through the school year, and then with my grandparents down here during the summers.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, and so we never had a lot. So I had to work right out of school. I went right to work, and as soon as my sister, she got a full ride to Princeton, and so the day she got those papers, I was like, oh, I'm gonna move back home because I just wanted to see what I missed. And then
this was home.
Yeah.
This area.
Yeah, so just try to see what North Carolina would have been like, and just never really planned to go how I did. I went from working in a hospital, kind of what Freddy does, but just in the OR, and
that was in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then came back here, started welding, and just
that's awesome.
Yeah, was doing bull riding and fighting and stuff, and then fell into comedy and got addicted. It's what I'm most passionate about by far. And I was sort of on the same boat pre-pandemic. I was getting ready to move. I was like, I was finally, because I've always had that wanderlust to just leave. But I decided, I want to make Raleigh a comedy destination too.
Yes!
Instead of having to go somewhere, everybody graduate to somewhere, let's bring people here.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating for people I have to go to LA or I have to go to New York. I'm like,
I was already I was like, I'll go to LA if I absolutely have to. I was like, but I was already planning on doing it from here because we can do it with the internet. And now COVID made that an absolute. And I was thinking the same thing. I'll be the fucking Joe Rogan of the East of the East Coast.
Let's go.
Yeah, right. Just let's be the reason people come.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
But you're that New York kid though. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Yonkers, New York.
Cool.
Yeah, Yonkers, New York. So that Yonkers is where DMX is from. The Locks, Mary J. Blige, Steven Tyler. Mary J. Blige and Steven Tyler went to my high school.
Stop.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right in the middle of them too. That's personality-wise. Yeah, so I grew up in what they call the hood. Yeah, I grew up in the hood, and my childhood. The stories I have from that, the things we used to do, so different than growing up in the suburbs.
Yeah. Have any of you guys ever met Freddy's parents?
No, tell me about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're my mom's. So I'm the third funniest person in my family. My mom's the funniest, and my sister's the second funniest. And they're just crazy. If you think of, they're living with Cardi B.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's to the
Paint this picture for me. I'm in it now.
Yeah, my sister doesn't give a fuck. She's on my podcast too. She's episode 8 or something like that. But she lets it fly.
I love her already.
Yeah. So then Yonkers, I wrestled. That was my first passion, the first thing I fell in love with. I was good at that, and it allowed me to leave that area and I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina. I got invited to wrestle at UNC Greensboro, and I spent 7 years in Greensboro just fucking doing it up.
Living out the 3
Yeah. Did that, and then went to Charlotte for 3 years where I sold copiers, and now I sell medical devices in the Triangle.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you could be a doctor essentially.
I'm pretty much.
You can operate on yourself.
I wear scrubs and I walk around. People never confuse me for a nurse. They confuse me for a doctor, and I think that's sexist.
It is sexist, but also whenever I think of what you do, I just think of that scene from Seinfeld. I'm like, just don't drop your snacks.
Yeah.
Just in case, it's like.
It's fun. You'd be surprised how loose it is in some of those operating rooms.
For sure.
Someone's spine's open. They're making jokes.
Best time.
It's fun.
I'm not a doctor, but my dad's one, so I feel like I play one on TV. but only if the money was good, because the money is not good for all doctors. Let that be known.
Yo, oh my God, I love how you that's the first thing we're gonna tackle is some of you doctors are clout chasing. You ain't really bringing in that bag, okay?
I mean, it's real. I'm a little sensitive today, but I won't go into why. I want to hear about your family's Thanksgivings and what you did before this pandemic, like the memory of Thanksgiving that's your Norman Rockwell, like that one Thanksgiving that you always aspire for Thanksgiving to be like. And maybe what you're going to do instead of that, because obviously everyone's plans have changed. 2020 has been brutal. I'm going to say it now so I don't have to say it again.
What's going on?
Well, there's a little virus going around. Just a wee bit little virus. But it turns out there's lots of refrigerators at Lake Med that have the cure. So, just in case, just to make that known, I got an inside scoop.
Somebody's planning on fasting.
They have to keep the freezers really cold. We'll put it that way. It feels like an outbreak, but it hasn't happened yet. Anyway, so let's go into it. Jacob, you mind kicking us off with this? Like what your Thanksgiving's like normally and what your pandemic Thanksgiving will be like?
Yeah, sure. Like, it's hit or miss. Like I said, kind of like where I had the sort of split growing up. Like, some years we get to fly down here, and then it's like all family. My family down here is close. They're close. So pandemic times have been weird because they would normally everybody get together and eat on Friday night. It didn't have to be Thanksgiving for everybody to get together.
Cool. It's like the next day.
Yeah, it's anything. Like not like Friday night after Thanksgiving or
like
anything. I just
every
mean
Friday.
every Friday
Oh,
is family
snap.
dinner. Just everybody's they're tight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then like the other side of my family is real spread out. Like it's just different. And so like it'd just be like me and my sister, my dad, like wherever we were staying, and wouldn't really get necessarily like a meal or anything. It was just another day, and we got to be like, yo, we're thankful, and then we'd call everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was always on the phone, which is kind of like more. It's come full circle to what it, like
You've been training for
pandemic's
this.
gonna be. Yeah, no, we've been ready. It's because we just get on the phone, and there's no FaceTime, there's no
Right.
none of this back then. It's just, oh, well, let me talk to somebody. You hear them in the background. Hey, pass the phone to. And it's like 30 people, and so on there, and they're
I
just
love
used
that.
to like Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. Like, oh, Jacob's on the phone, oh, Christina's on the phone.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. That warms my heart up. So this year, are y'all gonna get together at all, or?
We'll see. Like, I'm gonna do something with my grandma, and not to like just keep rolling. Don't let this hit the mood. But like, so my grandpa actually just died like yesterday. And we found out, like, my grandpa in New York. Yeah, Hamptons. But, like, so that family was already kind of dismissed anyway. Like, they weren't very close all the time. Like, he had two sons he didn't necessarily, like, talk to. But I was actually going to go up there for Thanksgiving this year. Like, I was like, I haven't been home in, like, 8 years. So I was like, oh, boy, all right, we going to hit this one. And it just didn't work out. So now, like, my Thanksgiving, I'm making, like, cross-country funeral arrangements. Like, I got people coming in from Germany and stuff like that. And, like, it's weird because we got to debate, like, putting it off a couple months and stuff like that. So, like, this year, it's a real wash for me. I don't know what Thanksgiving's going to be.
Right.
But.
Are you still gonna call your family?
Oh, no doubt, dude.
Oh,
we
nice.
out
There you
here.
go.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So your Thanksgiving's like solid, which I
Yeah.
think is cool. Like my dad's from Holland, my mom's from Colorado, so we never really had our family gather. And people in Holland don't give a shit when you call. They're like, don't call because it's like opposite hours or whatever.
Your parents are in Holland?
My dad's family is, and
Oh,
my mom's
wow.
family's in Colorado, but her dad was Dutch, so like they're all my mom's sister married a cattle rancher, so all my cousins were like on the ranch all the time. And so we'd call them, same thing, and it was like, hi, hello, and it was like, I'm so grateful for social media now, because I can actually know what they're talking about, and like know what's going on in their lives, but obviously not everyone's on social media, so it's kind of a bummer. But this year, my sister had a baby 2 weeks ago. We were going to go to the Hamptons and see them. The Hamptons. Yes, it's real.
Yo.
I was pretty excited. But also, I was worried about getting trapped there because, like, New York is, like, you know, we've all gone through waves of this thing. In case you're reading about this on CNN from a different country, it's bananas here. And I was afraid we were going to get stuck there. We were going to get quarantined. And so today we actually got the call that Thanksgiving's canceled, the plans we had. So we're just going to figure it out. But I'm just excited to have dinner with my kids and my partner and talk about what we're thankful for this year. So I'm excited to have that. just like simple Thanksgiving. I've never had my own Thanksgiving, so I'm pretty pumped for that.
Yeah.
But Beba, what's your Thanksgivings like?
So in the past, we have my mom's families. Most of them live around this area. So
Cool.
lots of us in Raleigh, Durham, and so we always get together for Thanksgiving. It's like a good 25, 30 people every Thanksgiving. But this year is gonna be a little different because obviously we're in the middle of the pandemic, and my mom is a national treasure, so we gotta keep it. I was like, listen, I love everybody, but ain't nobody like my mama. Okay, that's a national treasure, so we're gonna protect.
Mom and I are fighting.
If something happens to my mama, I was like, ain't nobody gonna take care of me. So somebody gotta take care of Bobo too. So we just gonna be like keep it small in our family, which is like our parents and my sister's family, and then me and my significant other, and just keep it small. So we just gonna see if we can like Zoom call people and just kind of like around dinner time or whatnot, and that's what we're gonna do. Although I'm just a little self-important me is just a little bummed that we're not gonna have the big family Thanksgiving, because when it comes to family Thanksgiving, shots of fire. Like in my family, shots of fire. As soon as you get in the door, it's on and popping. And I found out one of my cousins from Florida. He's living in Florida. He usually come back up here because his mama lives here. But apparently, he did not come back to play Thanksgiving in the last 2 years because somebody, I'm not saying this with me, make fun of him because of his bald head.
Oh.
So he got real insecure and decided that he didn't want to come back.
And you can't grow hair on it? It's like the thing?
No, it's done good. I got the report and everything.
They roasted him out of the Thanksgiving?
Yes, that's what we
Wow,
did.
that's an all-time.
And I was
Yeah.
like, how insecure do you have to be to decide that, yo, I don't want to hang out with y'all because y'all make fun of my head.
Yo.
But then,
I have all lady hands.
Okay, so, so anyhow, but this year, I'm a little bummed because I just found out that my aunt, who's 66 years old, during the height of the pandemic, went and get some titties done.
Let's go.
Gangster!
Yo.
Wait, I'm saying, so my mama let it slip. She just, and then I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And then I was like, she did not, this old ass woman did not get her brand new titties in the middle of the pandemic. It was in April. Like, I didn't even get my teeth done.
Yeah.
The dentist called like, you come to your teeth clean. I'm like, hell no! We're in a pandemic. No. 2021.
I'm seeing the
I was like, that's some gangster shit, yo. Old as fuck. And in the middle of the pandemic, went and got her titty done. Like, I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I told my mom, I was like, we can't not cancel the big family Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you gotta see those
I
titties.
already got 25 jokes. I'm ready to fire. You cannot tell me that we cancel this
No,
shit.
that is prime time.
Are you-
But I think I have a question that we all have now. Do they look good?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, girl,
I
it's
want to see these now.
I just assumed they
That's
look
pretty
brand
only
new.
thing.
Let's assume, right?
because they're tits, you know
everything's
what I'm saying?
good in the beginning.
Yeah.
brand new titties. It's gotta be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That is
saying?
some gangster shit.
That's some gangster shit right there. I'm like, all the son, I was like, respect. That's just some gangster shit, okay?
Yeah, and
So I was like, so I'm a little bummed. So I'm kind of a little selfish of me to say like, I think we should still do it. We should still.
I think you should send a plea via video with that hat on. I think they'll show up.
I might record a whole family Thanksgiving greeting and send it to her children. And none of her kids know about this apparently.
What?
Cause y'all live in Florida, so they didn't know about it.
Oh, you heard because your mom.
Yeah, my mom let it slip. So now I'm like, I already got 25 fucking jokes lined up. I'm just ready. I'm ready, and you're gonna take this opportunity away from me.
Well, I'm here.
But
for
anyway,
I'm here
so-
for the boob set.
I love it.
Whenever you're ready for the boob set, I would love a sneak peek. Just so you know.
I don't know. I don't think it's something like I take on stage or anything, but you know, tight-knit family, like the big family. We tight, but in my family, we take shot at you like, no, it's nobody business. And then lots of times people say, really? And I was like, yeah, because like I don't do that with other people. I don't do it with friends and acquaintances. And I was like,
You
hey,
want to scare them. They can't leave you.
not saying
family's
that. It's
stuck
just
on it.
because, we don't know each other like that. And
Right.
I'm not, like most of the time I'm an observer when it comes to friends and acquaintances. Unless you're like, you're real tight. But family, anything goes.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, that's I grew up in the same
Anything
type of
goes.
family.
Like, cause if you can't take it,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna get rid of you.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like,
That's hilarious.
if you marry into this family
Oh, and you can't take
and
it.
you
That
can't
would
handle the heat,
that would be terrible.
I was like, I'll be like, I'm gonna give you 13 months.
That makes me think of, I'm really curious, Freddie, about your sister. Like, I already want to have Thanksgiving with her, but I digress. I want to hear about your Thanksgivings and what you did and what you're going to do.
Yeah, so usually my mom doesn't really fuck with the holidays like that. Yeah, she doesn't care for it a ton. So Thanksgivings are a little sporadic. Sometimes I go over there, but it's not necessary. Mm-hmm. So I just give the Thanksgivings to my girl because she comes from the opposite end.
Cool.
She's like a well-off white girl. Like she, the Christmas traditions.
Traditions
like,
are strong.
Yes, very
Right.
strong. So I learned an appreciation for that, which I really like. So I give her Thanksgivings, but usually, my household was fun and vibrant. Like for us, you mentioned you and your family every Friday would meet. For my thing close to that would be my house was a place where like all my friends would come over to hang out because they were comfortable
awesome.
going there, like to talk to my mom about a girl that they like or like things like that. So like I always grew up in a household where we just like talked about sex, like with my I asked my mom about anal when I was 16, and she like
Freddie's mom is the realist. I cannot.
She like literally was like, well, it's
That's
it's
awesome.
uncomfortable at first, it hurts, but when you get past it, it actually feels really good. Like, gave me that explanation. I was 16, like so, and I didn't realize what I grew up in until I got older and realized that
Like how
people
lucky
don't
you
fucking
were.
talk. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
People
think
don't talk.
she must have put the talk in your Freddie talk in a way.
yeah,
It's like,
she did.
Where'd
Yeah,
you get it?
oh for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and my mom, she's like super afraid of COVID, so we're not going. So she's just, I'll hang out with them next year. But
They're still in New York, right?
yeah, they're still
Okay.
in New York.
Cool. It's still in Yonkers?
Yeah, they're still in the same apartment that we grew up in. Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
They know like everybody in every street corner. I'm like imagining the scene in the movie.
The neighborhood definitely knows them, but New York's so big that
I
like,
know, but New York's also not so big. Like I've been there. Like the block is like the block is big, and the world still comes there. I don't know.
yeah,
it's
it's
so, like
it's like every 2 blocks is like a whole different world.
Yes.
Sometimes. Like,
I can't imagine what it's like going back there.
it's fun. I like going to visit, but I'm glad I was born and raised there. But I'm also glad that I left.
Right.
Sometimes people stay in New York with no real purpose, and it ends up all the good things they gain from growing up there through childhood. It switches the other way. So like here you have like sometimes you're a little bit more mature depending on the lifestyle you live, growing up in New York. But sometimes people stay there and they become like
I know what you're saying. Like they
stagnant.
become part of the block. Like you grew
Yeah.
up on the block,
Yeah.
but then they become part of the block.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like just stagnant. Just New Yorkers in general. Because there's like that weird New York pride, and I think it works against you if you're just there without a purpose. I think it would backfire.
I think the word I've actually been applying to like children and like what you're saying too is like fixated. It's like they become so fixated on like trying to survive in that jungle or something.
Yes. So they say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Right.
Well, I say if you can scrape by in New York, you can still make it anywhere.
Yes.
So just fucking move.
Yes.
If you're struggling to make ends meet and you're not, most jobs you can get anywhere else. Like just
Yeah.
fucking move. Like
Yeah.
people need to like leave that place.
I hear that. I'm curious, like, what you're thankful for at this moment. Like, obviously, we talked about Thanksgiving, and obviously, we're thankful for, like, our history and stuff. Like, right now, like, what's kind of keeping you from, like, losing your shit or something? Like, what are you really thankful for? Let's start with you. I'm into this.
I'm thankful for my mental health.
Yeah.
2015 to 2018 was a very, very dark time for me. Very unsure. Like, there was just a lot of shit that I needed to get together in my life, and it was a tough time for me. And 2020 has actually been a really good year from a mental health standpoint for me.
That's awesome.
And 2019 was good, not as good as 2020, but I feel like I'm past. I feel like my depression was more of like a phase type thing, more of like I guess, where you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life kind of thing.
Right.
And I don't know, it feels good. I feel like I have my old self back.
That's awesome.
And I worked very hard and very like reading books, observing myself in situations. And when you start comedy too, it's fucking weird because you become a little unfunny when you start comedy.
It feels very unfunny.
Yeah, because on stage you suck, but I'm talking about off stage too. I got because now I'm thinking about comedy as opposed to just being funny.
Right.
And now I'm getting out of that phase, but I'm just happy that I just have like the positive disposition that I usually have. I just went through a dark place for a few years there, so.
That's awesome, and I can attest to that too. I think, I'm a lot thankful. Well, I said comedy already, but as a mental health perspective, I've kind of fallen into like epigenetics, and the thought that my like generational trauma is in my power is to me so healing. And I kind of want to joke about it so I can like make other people in the audience know they too can like shake that shit, like you don't have to be bogged down by your mother's idea of you, and you can kind of realize it was like their mother's idea of them. But the thought is all of our genes that we have were in our parents and in their parents, and it can actually be traced down, they think, at least 3 or 4 generations. And so what you actually feel and what you sense too. And just being aware of that, I feel like I gained a whole new sense of like being chill. But like going into comedy, again, I'm just like, thank you for giving me an outlet. Like I lost both my other jobs aside from being a mom and a nanny. I'm not a cocktail waitress anymore. I don't work at the restaurant that I used to work at, and I feel like everything just moved out of my way. Like, hey, you got nothing holding you back now. No more excuses.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm thankful for that. Like comedy feels like no more excuses to me.
That's good.
It's like there's no bullshit. So I don't know. I'm just like I'm really thankful that I get to hear about what y'all are thankful for. So Bobo, what are you thankful for right now?
I have a lot to be thankful for.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
I don't have a specific things, but I think like because we know pandemics and everything, I'm just glad that everybody that I pick up the phone and I dial a number and I can hear their voice, and they healthy and they can joke. If I call my family, if I call my mom, she can crack some dick joke. That just make me feel so fucking thankful.
Treasure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mom
saying?
is a treasure.
I mean, I can feel them. Like that's my family too. We really into like the sex jokes and stuff. But like we pretty dirty. But I'm saying it's like I guess I'm just thankful that the people I love and the people I want to be around are healthy.
Yeah.
And thank goodness and things. I'm so thankful for the fact that we haven't got that phone call.
Right.
And I know that that's happened in lots of families.
Right.
And I'm just I can't even imagine what it would be like. I mean, I know friends who lost their family members and their loved ones, and
So bad.
I even then I can't really like imagine that would happen in our family or to the people that I love. And so I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful for that.
Yeah, that's
That's a
hell
lot
of
of
a thing,
people.
too.
So that's a lot of
I
reason
think-
to be thankful for.
I think 2020 in retrospect will go down as a lot of people's best year of their life.
Yeah.
Or like at least a turning point year.
The bullshit fell away.
Oh, it had to, because everything was so fucked. You had no choice but to get better. This exposed everything at the individual level up to the society level. Like obviously with the George Floyd thing.
It's so true.
Yeah, if you were shitty at handling your money, COVID exposed that,
Yeah, for real.
you were forced to.
And I think too, people who lost people, it's like my uncle in the Netherlands, he fell, broke 10 ribs before they realized he punctured a lung. He had pneumonia before they realized he had pneumonia. He was septic, and he passed away within 48 hours.
Damn.
And my dad had to watch his twin brother's funeral on Skype.
Oh shit.
On Skype. And it was like, to me, that trauma is something a twin, had to like,
it's a lot.
and he's definitely not okay, and I can't do anything, and to me, I'm just like, that moment was a pivotal moment for me, life-wise. Like, I also was the first child this man loved, but to me, it's just like being aware of those moments while being isolated. You can't ignore it anymore. It's like you kind of have to look yourself in the mirror and have a conversation that you don't want to have with yourself because you're all you have. But I digress, because I think it's really important to talk about that stuff. But Jacob, I'm curious what you're thankful for. I know you have expressed some awesome emotions about Thanksgiving, and I'm curious what it is this year.
Ain't a lot. Honestly, I think part of what I'm most thankful for is sort of what you're saying, like where everything's boiled down, that you got to examine things. Like, I'm thankful for the time and the space to do that.
Yeah.
Because, like, even before, like, the pandemic and stuff like that, my life changed pretty dramatically from what I was doing anyway. Like, I decided to stop drinking for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, through this whole time, like, my normal thing would just be hang out and drink all day, and, like, I'm over a year sober, like, through all the
Congratulations,
pandemic.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Which,
That kind of feels so good.
yeah, it's been different.
Why'd you pick 2 years? It's like a good faraway number, right?
Yeah, it seemed, well, it was, I decided on my 28th birthday, just up until I turned 30.
Oh, well,
And it seemed like a good round. I was like, yeah, I was going kind of hard anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let me see what
Are you
happens.
gonna stay sober?
I don't know. I haven't made up my mind for sure. But I'm open to the idea, but I don't know. I needed to learn to trust myself.
For sure.
Yeah, that's big, man.
That's a real
'Cause I was going too far too often.
I wish I'd done that at 28. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten knocked up, but that's
Yeah. Whoops.
I'm
Yeah.
glad for my kids though. Thankful for those as well.
Yes, thanks.
Be on the lookout for part 2 of this real talk about Thanksgiving and whatnot. It gets even juicier in the next part.